What's up, boys and girls? Today we'll be drawing Gastly from Pokemon. Feel free to draw along and pause the video whenever you like to catch up with me. Let's take a look at the materials we'll need for this drawing. You're going to need a pencil, a black marker, an eraser, and some crayons for the colors. So the colors I have here is a black and a gray for Gastly's body. And I have a dark purple and a light purple for this cloud around him and inside the mouth as well. Before we start drawing, let's take a look at our example here and see what shapes and forms we can use to help us create Gastly. So Gastly, not sure if you can see, is pretty much a big circle or a sphere. Okay, if I draw it on the side right here, if I add my cross on my sphere, it looks kind of like this. See how it's a spherical form like a ball. Okay, and based on the cross I drawn in the circle, I can tell pretty much where, like, how to position the facial features, because Gastly is his whole face. Has no arm, no legs, no hands or anything. It's just one big face. Okay, so we see eyes are really big. You know, we got two triangles for the teeth. Okay, and the eyes are just big, two big ovals that's cut in half for the eyebrow. So kind of like this. Big oval here, and then cut in half. Okay? And the cloud around it, you know, doesn't have to follow exactly the shape of this, but like an overall shape is fine. Okay, we're gonna have fun with that. Now let's take a look. The lighting for Gastly is kind of unique because Gastly is like this, like gas form, like it doesn't have any physical form. You know, it's like it's a ghost type Pokemon. So you don't really find any direct lighting, but imagine this is smoke but very dense in the center. So it's darker in the center of the sphere and then becomes lighter when you get to the outer edge of the sphere. So that's what we're gonna do. And this purple gas around it is like a cloudy mix of dark purple and light purple. And that's what we're gonna do. Okay? So after analyzing the example drawing, let's start our drawing. Okay, I'm going to grab a blank piece of paper. And this is just like a regular printer paper, copy paper that I grabbed from my computer printer. Okay, I'm going to grab my pencil and just start making that circle. Now I'm going to draw a line on the left and a line on the right to approximately like the size of the circle that I want to draw. And then I'm going to measure it. Okay, so if I draw a straight line like that, if I measure the distance like that and then rotate it, I kind of know how tall it needs to be. So if you're like me, you can't draw perfect circles. You can do this method where you draw the four corners first and then draw the other four corners. So Gastly is a very good practice for drawing good circles. You can really spend some time to make sure that your circle looks round. Now we have all 8 sides. I'm going to connect the lines. Okay, and then I'm going to draw in my cross. And if I continue these cross all the way around with dotted lines to see that it actually makes its way around the entire sphere. See that? Okay, now I have my cross. I know exactly where to put my facial features. Okay, so let's do that. So this is the inner corner of the eye and the outer corner of the eye. Okay, I'm going to draw this sphere for, oval for the right eye. Then I'm going to draw the oval for the left eye. Okay, and then I'm going to cut it in half. Okay, this side as well. Okay, the eyeballs. And make him look angry by drawing these wrinkles on the sides. Okay, and then I'm going to draw the mouth. Okay. And then draw the teeth, kind of like triangles. Okay? And then before I go on to the smoke, I'm just gonna refine my drawing a little bit, like my line work a little bit. Because to start, I don't draw very heavily, I draw very lightly. But now I know for sure that these lines are exactly where they need to be. I'm going to make the more definitive lines thicker and darker. So this is going to help me trace afterwards. Okay, also gonna refine this circle a little bit. Okay, and then I'm gonna draw the smoke around it. So again, we're not trying to follow exactly what it looks like. We're gonna take a little freedom with it. It's just the overall form has to follow. That's it. Okay, so you don't see very clearly on the drawing because I drew very lightly. However though, now I'm going to draw over the light lines again. And this time I'm going to draw a little bit thicker. Again, it doesn't need to follow exactly in our example. You're just trying to give it the same feel. Okay, and there we have it. So next we're going to trace it with our marker. We can put the example aside. Now when you're tracing, remember, if you have a very long curve or a very long straight line, you don't have to finish the entire line with one stroke. You can break up the lines. And also another thing, it's a good idea to remember to trace from top to bottom and left to right if you're right-handed. Now if you're left-handed, it's the other way around. You will trace from right to left. It's also good to trace that way because if your marker doesn't dry as fast, you would not smear your line work. Okay, so now again, when I'm tracing the smoke around it, I'm not aiming for perfection because it is not perfect. It's smoke. It doesn't have a definite physical form. It just had to be kind of on point with what I drawn with my pencil. Okay. And for the wrinkles, I'm actually not gonna use the light pink like it's in the example drawing. I'm actually gonna trace it in because I think that's gonna stand out more. Okay. Now I have the basic line work. I'm going to grab my eraser and erase the pencil line that's still left after I trace it with the marker. Okay, I'm going to grab my trusty sticky roller, bring up my drawing. Oops. There we go, all nice and clean. Okay, so next we're going to start coloring. I'm going to grab the lightest color, which is the light purple, and start coloring all the areas that I think needs this light purple, which is the smoke around it, okay? So when you're coloring in, filling in an area of color, it's good to just take into consideration the line work around it, the shape and form that's surrounding it, and color in the same direction. So see, right now I'm coloring in the same direction, following the sphere, following the circle of Gastly's body. So it's going to give you a feel that these strokes are growing or glowing around Gastly. Okay, like later on for the second layer of shadow, we're going to use our dark purple and just start adding in like random areas to make it darker. That will give us kind of like that smoke effect in the example drawing. Okay, I'm going to color in the mouth. Alright, next I'm going to use my gray and start coloring the body. And I'm just going to lay in the colors. This. And again, I'm going to follow the form of the circle. Okay, almost done. Okay, so next I'm going to add shadow in here, okay? Okay, I'm gonna grab my dark purple first and just start randomly making areas darker. Okay. Now since this part of the smoke is underneath the body, I'm going to make it darker a little bit more. Alright. Okay, so now I'm going to grab my black and start making the center of Gastly a little bit darker. Okay. Okay, so there we have all the colors in there. Now I'm gonna grab my sticky roller again and clean it up. The final step is to grab a marker and make some of the outlines a little bit darker. So mainly just a big circle of the overall form, okay? I'm going to make this eye, this edge a little bit thicker. Okay. And there we go. Gastly from Pokemon. Hope you guys enjoy this exercise and learn a couple of tips and tricks on how to draw circles and spheres. And let me know in the comments below what we should draw next. And I'll see you in the next video.